Having an electronic library is one thing, but being able to retrieve information from it is another. And that is where guides really come into their own. In this video, we're going to look at the Bible Word Study Guide to focus on a particular word, and the Passage Guide to find out information about the passage we're studying for sermon or Bible study lesson preparation. John 7:38 talks about believes, and we're going to look at how we can explore the meaning of that word. Right-click it, ensure the lemma is selected, and open the Bible Word Study Guide for that word. This provides a lot of useful information such as what lexicons you have in your library say about it. Hover over an entry such as the one for EDNT to show the pop-up and click it to open the lexicon. If you find some particularly useful information, you can export it into the clipping file for later reference. Going back to the guide, we can see how the underlying Greek term is translated by looking at the translation section. And clicking the middle of the ring will show the range of verses where it is used. And it could be useful to note how frequently it appears and how it is translated in our notes file. Back in the guide, we can see the different ways in which the word is used in the senses section, with its use in John 7:38 being to trust in Jesus. This speaks about trusting in Jesus as contained in the content of the gospel, and it would be good to add this information to our notes. To run a passage guide on a passage, click Guides, Passage Guide, and then enter the passage into the reference field. This will put together a lot of useful information about the passage. Before we look at some of the individual sections, it's worth being aware of the option to expand or collapse all sections by right-clicking on one of the arrows. Keeping sections closed until needed speeds up the overall operation of the guides, so it's worth collapsing all the sections when closing a guide, and it will then start in that state the next time. The Commentaries section shows all commentaries in your library that have a section on this passage. Clicking one opens the commentaries of the relevant article. Again, useful information can be extracted into the clippings file. Back in the guide, the Cross References section shows other passages in your Bibles that refer to this passage. We've already noted some of these, but it's interesting to see how Jesus develops the idea of living water that he had discussed with the Samaritan woman in John 4. The Biblical Events section in the guide shows what events take place in this passage and, again, links back to their fact book entries. Back in the guide again, the Topics section shows the key topics present in this passage and provides access to other guides or resources providing more detailed information. There are many more sections in each of these guides that provide easy access to a wealth of relevant information. At this point, we have a range of resources and tools open: a Bible, a dictionary, the fact book, some guides, a lexicon and a commentary, some tools, notes and clippings. And it's important to be able to get back to this point in our preparation later. To do that, you can save your current layout by clicking Layouts in the upper right and giving it a name. Now, even if the resources are closed, you can go back to the Layouts menu, click the layout, and it will be restored. Studying the text for ourselves is very important, but being able to access detailed information on a particular word or easily review all material on a passage is really valuable. And being able to store this in a layout means we can move from project to project and know we can always come back to a known state. So far in this series, we've explored the passage being studied and how to capture and organize research. In the remaining videos, we're going to look at creating and using a sermon document, a manuscript to use when preaching